Hello, stupid.
Hello, Saniya.
Hi, Tama. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. A little tired, but excited for today.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot today. Usually we try to record on days where we don't work, but you went to work and I waited around for you all day.
But you got set up a new mic setup, so we're gonna see you in HD now.
I
Or
know.
sorry,
Oh my God.
video.
Everyone, editing was such a nightmare today because I've been struggling a lot with the video recording. Um, it's a few episodes where I have to put some like glitch screen to replace my footage that just dropped and stuff like that. So, anyways, thanks for bearing with us. Now I have some nice video setups. Hopefully, this is gonna make more sense. I mean, I can't go any more professional than this at this point. So you know what? We're figuring it out. We started recording before we even looked into all the kind of setup that it was required. So I think we're doing good.
Totally. Yeah, we started recording before we even thought of video recording, and then it's like, let's do it. And then we have well, I have a very bootleg setup, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Because I think we were both like so excited that we had an idea and we had momentum for it. And it was like, okay, if we waste too much time trying to figure out the setup, we're just never going to find the motivation again.
Yeah, I totally agree. Speaking of which, I feel like our last couple episodes, we've gotten a lot new following lately. So I think
Yeah, we're getting some traction.
we should kind of do a little reintroduction. And if you're new here and listening for the first time, a little what have you gotten yourself into here?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say welcome. Welcome.
Oh,
And what have you got yourself into?
exactly.
All right. Well, for all our new friends here, I'm Tom,
And I'm Sanya.
and we're stupid.
Exactly. That's it. Welcome. I'm kidding. I guess we kind of like do a little deep dive each week, alternate topics, and explain this random topic that we've picked out of our little hats in our head and tell it to each other like we're stupid.
You think that by now we'd have like a very specific tagline to describe the podcast, but every time I tell someone about it, I'm always kind of rambling. It's like, yeah, no, it's just like, you know, one week it's her, one week it's me, and like we just explain to each other like a random subject that we research, and but basically that's that.
Yeah. That's exactly it, right? I guess we got to
Yeah,
come up with something a bit more professional while we're saying.
digestible.
Exactly. Yeah. A better tagline.
Speaking of, do you notice something? Something new?
Oh yeah, new shirt.
We've got a little merch prototype that Ish did for us, our brand manager at this point, I guess. So isn't it pretty? I'm so happy with it. It's so cute.
It's so cute. And I guess for the people that don't watch the video while they're listening to a podcast, which is totally normal, we will post a picture on an Instagram and we're thinking we'll have merch out soon.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely manifesting it, putting it out to the universe.
Yeah, well, let us know what you think if you would like some merch. Um, and while I'm at that, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and go rate us on wherever you're listening. And also where you're not listening, and just rate and review and leave nice comments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as tradition oblige, it's a Sanya episode, so I have to start us off with a little dad joke.
Yes.
I opened to this random page and they're all terrible.
Oh
So
my God.
when you why did the dad spider tell his son to go outside and play?
Because
Because he was spending too much time on the web.
so bad.
Yes.
So bad. Um,
What were you gonna say? You were gonna propose an answer.
I was gonna say something about a web, like the web isn't big enough.
Oh, well,
Yeah. I'm
you weren't
really
close there.
trying. I'm really trying.
Do you want another one?
Yeah.
Where does Bruce Wayne brush his teeth?
The Bat Cave?
In the bat room. You were so close.
I was. I really was. And then the way you looked at me, I thought you were like, you got it.
Yeah, because it's like you forget the concept of a joke every time that it has to have a punchline. It's not just me asking you a question.
I know. I'm like, I have to answer. But like, what do other people do when you like? Do I just like wait
Oh, I don't try this
in
on other people.
excitement?
This is
What do you
for
What do you mean? You don't bring your dad jokes party out with you?
no. It's tucked neatly away with the rest of my podcast stuff.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Best of your podcast stuff, your pen and your paper.
And my microphone.
Okay,
You know,
yeah. We're getting there. We're becoming
we're
big
getting
time
there.
podcasters.
Yeah, actually, it's too soon to announce it officially yet, but we're looking to getting someone to help us with the video editing, which we're investigating that possibility this week, and that will free up a lot of time for me to focus on research and on more content and to be able to interact online a bit more because oh my god, editing is a headache.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing all the heavy lifting till now.
My
You just
pleasure.
taught me how to Photoshop literally right before we start recording, so I am going to help out a bit more.
Well, hopefully. So,
All right. So we're going to go into my episode, I guess now.
yeah, jump in.
Unlike like usually you have no clue what we're talking about, but I had given you a little bit of a hint here. We're talking about birds. I know, like completely different for what I usually go for. So Tama, what comes to mind for you usually when you think of birds?
Oh, wow. I mean, just now, I can't speak for usually, but just now I'm thinking of the movie Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
You haven't seen it? Oh my god, it's a classic.
Wait, let me look this up.
It's very old also.
Okay.
But it's basically for like unknown reasons the birds just gang up and become very hostile, and this woman is getting like harassed and attacked by birds. It's the plot of the whole movie.
From 1963. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. It's a classic. I think a
Interesting.
lot of people's fear of birds is born from that movie.
It's so interesting. I didn't know fear of birds were a thing. I didn't know people hate birds so much till like I think one year I did 2 trips with 2 friends and they both hated birds. And it was like every time a bird approached us, like we had to run away to like the other corner. And I was like, why do people hate birds so much? Perfect segue here though.
Okay.
What is a commonly hated bird?
Seagulls. Pigeons.
And there we have it. We're talking about pigeons.
Imagine I just like never get it wrong. You can't.
I know when you said seagulls, I was like, oh, I didn't think of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, pigeons.
That's like a common bird we see every single day. Most days in the city. You know what I mean?
Wait, are pigeons all over the world?
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
But yes, they are. All over the world except in Antarctica.
Okay. Makes sense.
We'll talk a bit more about how they spread out throughout the world.
Okay.
I like to refer to the pigeons as the misunderstood bird. So I'm gonna go through a little.
Back up. In what context do you usually refer to pigeons as the misunderstood bird?
In this podcast?
Right.
No.
As I always say, pigeons, aka the misunderstood.
Honestly, to be honest, I didn't know shit about pigeons except the fact that people hated them. I honestly didn't care for them much. Don't care for many birds. They're just
Right.
birds.
Okay.
And then as I started researching, I'm like, damn, we misunderstand these birds in this day and age. Um, so yeah, I'll start with some little basic facts here about them. Pigeons can fly at altitudes up to and beyond 6,000 feet
Okay.
and at an average speed of 77.6 miles per hour. The fastest recorded speed is 92.5 miles per hour. Pigeons are highly sociable animals. They will often be seen in flocks of 20 to 30 birds. They mate for life, and they tend to raise two chicks at a time. Um, Both male and female pigeons share the responsibility of caring for and raising their young. Um, and both sexes take turns incubating the eggs, and both of them can produce milk. So
Oh,
even a male pigeon can produce milk. Um,
so progressive.
yeah, they produce milk in this area of their digestive system called their crop. And it is stimulated prosolin, which is the same hormone that stimulates breast milk in human women.
Oh,
It has protein and fats, and it helps boost the immune system.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
They made for life. I didn't know that.
yeah, so cute. Who would have thought?
Do we know the lifespan of a pigeon?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Well,
Sorry. I always do that to you. I put you on the spot.
you love to put me. Now we have to find out.
All right.
Pigeon lifespan. Any guesses?
I would say 14 years.
6 years.
6. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Isn't that sad? But these are the
It's
ones in
longer
the
than most of
wild.
my relationships.
It's a person's life, or it's not a person's life. It's a pigeon's life that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So did you know that pigeons were once domesticated?
Like for carrier pigeons, like for messages.
Yeah, so actually, rock pigeons, which is like the domestic pigeon, is the world's oldest domesticated bird.
Oh.
Um, so sorry, rock pigeons are from rock doves. They're the pigeons that we see on everyday basis. They're like
Okay.
those,
Okay.
little gray guys. Really cute. Some people hate them, I guess. But they're
Cute,
our
cute.
world oldest domesticated bird, which I was really surprised by because right now, well, we just see what we think of wild pigeons everywhere. I don't know anyone. I don't know if you do that has pet pigeons, but it was very, very common back in the day.
Really? Like
Yeah.
as pets?
Yep. We had them as pets. Humans had them as pets as they ate them.
Wait, that was an interesting distinction. You corrected yourself. It was like, well, not we humans.
Like I didn't have pigeons back in the day, but humans did. Um, they ate them. They used them for a lot of different things that we're going to talk about.
Mhm.
But yeah, but clearly not so much anymore.
No.
And then previously they were domesticated, and now these pigeons are all, back to being in the wild. We brought them into our land and we've set them free. And now, we see pigeons living on buildings and downtown Toronto, New York City, wherever you are. Every
Mhm.
downtown, there's lots of pigeons, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of taken over downtown areas, and people are getting very fed up with them. But what do you think is their natural habitat? Where do you think pigeons naturally would live?
I'm not sure. I would tend to think like Northern Europe, but the only
Mhm.
reason I think that is because like in like medieval castle shows, you often see pigeons in the street.
So you're spot on. It would be in Europe, but where in Europe? Like you kind of had it there, like medieval, but like where would you find a pigeon? Like a tree top or
Oh, okay, okay. Um,
uh
like bushes, like brush, like small trees and bushes.
No, actually, they would be like pigeons out in the wild usually nest in caves and cliffs. So they like to be
Oh,
on higher up structures as opposed to trees and bushes.
oh,
Um,
wow.
which is that why they kind of feel at home in our downtown areas because they like to nest on skyscrapers and just tall buildings, you know?
And like every nook and crannies and stuff like that of skyscrapers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
So you were totally spot on. That was going to be my next question. Where do they come from? And that is Europe. So, although now we can find pigeons in every continent except Antarctica, European colonists brought domestic pigeons to the Americas sometime between 16,000 and 1610. Is that how you say it? 1610?
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
16, yeah,
That doesn't feel
1610.
right. Okay. Wow. Got a number right and just didn't feel it. Um, And then a similar situation occurred in Australia, where European settlers imported domestic pigeons in the 1870s.
Hmm.
So Europeans kind of took them along with them wherever they colonized. You know what I mean?
Would they, but they would bring them as like, they would bring the domesticated pigeons with them.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, okay. Like
Um,
not like rats stowing away on the boats, more like.
no, they brought them as domestic pigeons. You know, we think of like messenger pigeons
Hmm.
that take little messages with them and different. Basically, back in the day, we're going to touch on this. Pigeons were domesticated and they all had a purpose. Either they were our food or messengers or different things like that. And the reason they were domesticated kind of went obsolete. We don't need messenger pigeons anymore. Mail took over and technology took over, and we
Hmm.
don't really eat pigeons as much anymore either. So that's why they were kind of sent to being back in the wild.
Right.
So, in a book called A Pocket Guide to Pigeon Watching, Getting to Know the World's Most Misunderstood Bird. Oh, I didn't even put this together. I'm sorry. I take that back. I don't like to go.
Oh, just like you always say.
Oh my God. Rosemary Moscow took this from me. I'm joking. I totally
She's
took this
gonna
from
sue
her.
you for
I'm
plagiarism.
right. Yes, this book's written by Rosemary Moscow, and she calls them the world's most misunderstood bird. Whoops.
I can't. Cool. All right.
But so, you know, as we think of pigeons, they're the rats of the birds, but actually they're very intelligent and misunderstood creatures. And she writes this book because she started bird watching, and, you know, living in the city, the easiest bird to watch is a pigeon. They're everywhere. And then she started noticing people's behavior around them. And when she started to do some research, she found their history very interested. From an interview that she did, she called sorry, the interview is called Humans Domesticated Pigeons, but then abandoned them. Is it time for reappraisal? She says that the wildest thing to me about pigeons, at least the city pigeons around us, is that different kinds of pigeons. They're feral domesticated animals. Just like a cat or a dog or a feral horse or a goat, they were domesticated by humans a long time ago, thousands of years ago. But the difference is with pigeons that we've kind of forgotten that we domesticated them.
Mm.
So we brought them in our homes in parts of Europe, Asia, North Africa, and then forgot why we did it. And now we're sort of angry at these animals for being in our space. I think that it's kind of a shame because you learn about nature and when you understand the history and the context of where you are. Um, why they're here.
Hmm.
So I found that very interesting
It
because
is
I
interesting.
I don't think that's, you know, common knowledge that like pigeons were domesticated at one point.
No, and to think that like, oh, they even evolved as domesticated animals, and now they're like just forced back on the street, and they're just
Yeah.
like, well, you know, in it's in their DNA to live in the cities and all that, and now they're just like, well, you know, where else will we go, kind of thing.
Yeah, and the fact that they've like adapted to us, like they live in skyscrapers and all of that, but we haven't really thought about them and just taken them from where they live and turned them into these concrete jungle birds.
Yeah, yeah,
And then hate on them, like calling them the rats of birds.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So archaeological evidence indicates that both Neanderthal, wow, that's a hard word. Neanderthals and later Homo sapiens consumed rock dubs for food. Eventually, they were used for their navigational skills as well. And they noticed that pigeons that are captured, moved, and released were able to find their way back home to their coops, even when they're hundreds of miles away from home. And this is what
Wow.
they call their homing instincts. Their behavior has allowed humans to use pigeons to orient sailors towards land and to deliver messages over great distances. And these are called messenger pigeons. Um, and this was used all the way until the more modern era, where birds were used to send messages during World War One and World War Two. There's a really good podcast. I believe it's called Stuff We Should Know or Stuff You Should Know. Hang on. Let me just double check here.
Mm-hmm.
But I just listened to it's Stuff You Should Know. And they have a pigeon episode where they really go like deep dive into homing pigeons, messenger pigeons, and passenger pigeons, which is all really interesting. So like homing pigeons are the ones that, have their sense of direction and they're used for that as opposed to
As in,
messenger
like, you'll
pigeons.
just follow them home, kind of thing. If you,
I guess so. So I guess like to orient strangers, orient sailors, I'm
yeah,
thinking that they would guide the sailors to the direction to their home, which is
yeah,
where they came from, which would be you think either it's just land or where you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting.
And then messenger pigeons is as it sounds. They send
Yeah,
messages. Back in the day, they would put like little like cuffs on them with the message in them, so strapped on them, which I think is really cool.
cutest message ever. Imagine receiving a little bird and you just untie the little thing and read the little paper. It's like so cute.
Yeah, I wonder why J.K. Rowling in Harry Potter used owls, not pigeons.
Well, because I,
Owls are
I mean,
cooler.
even
There's
yeah, pigeons are just so not glamorous. Like I was thinking, even with sailors, like they in movies and stuff like that, they'll use birds to like show the way or find the land and stuff like that. And like I guess commonly they would use pigeons, but on TV it's never pigeons.
it's never pigeons.
Hmm.
I don't think there's any movie that I can recall where the pigeon looks cool. Like, you know what I mean? There's no movie about pigeons that makes them feel cool. Like, there's so many good movies about birds. Like, everyone's obsessed with the owl in
We need like
Harry Potter.
a Ratatouille to like rebrand pigeons. Ratatouille, but with pigeons.
Ratatouille in the skies, and then it's a pigeon, not a rat. Oh my god,
Did we just make something?
I'm in it. I'm in
And
it.
then really rebrand pigeon. We just have to get big pigeon on board
Yeah.
to fund us our project, and then turn the
Um,
world around.
if you're a movie producer out there, please reach out to us at tellmelikeimstupid@gmail.com. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my god, let's rebrand pigeon. Tell me like I'm pigeon. And it won't be stupid because pigeons are very smart.
Right. I
There,
think
I
we
don't
just
know.
found the title of the episode. Pigeons aren't stupid.
Yeah,
There you go.
I like it. Um I was gonna say write it down because we just always forget.
I literally am writing it down. I'm trying to do it the most
Amazing.
discreetly possible.
Did you spell pigeon right there? I'm just
uh,
joking.
probably not. Penguin.
Exactly.
Continue.
Oh my god, stop. Now I'm gonna see it as Penguin. All right. So as I try to go through this Penguin episode,
We shouldn't record this late at night.
um, so like I said, we in today's world we don't really have a use for the domesticated pigeon, um, and pigeon meat isn't really in demand anymore. Um, I guess they refer to pigeon meat as squab. And um, back in the day, pigeon meat was commonly used, a lot more common than chicken meat, because chickens
Mhm.
weren't farmed as much. And now it's more chicken farming, and that's why chicken is used more. And pigeon meat is kind of, I mean, squab is more of a delicacy, but I think calling it pigeon meat makes it sound not
I
as
mean,
good.
I was gonna say again, it sounds like a branding issues for me because squab isn't very appetizing either.
Yeah. Have you ever had squab?
I don't think so. But
Me
again,
neither.
I don't know what it's called in French. So, um, but even
Let's
then,
look
I
it
don't think
up.
so.
Pigeon meat in French.
It's gonna say viande de pigeon. But you should do
Oh, yeah.
squab in French.
Okay, let's try that. I feel like it's just going to be squab. Oh, Pinot?
Pinot?
Pigeon?
Pigeon? How's it spelled?
Pigeonneau.
Oh yeah,
Pigeon?
pigeonneau. Pigeonneau.
Pigeonneau.
There you go. Oh, that's cute. See, the branding is on point on French. In French,
Shall we start calling pigeon Pigeonneau?
pigeonneau. Squab.
Anyways, yeah, squab's kind of gross. I've never had squab. I didn't know squab was pigeon meat for the longest time till I used to watch Chopped on Food Network,
Mm,
and they'd always have squab on there, and I had to Google it one
mm.
day. I'm like, what the hell is squab? But yeah, it's now considered a delicacy, but not commonly ate. And I guess when you do brand it as pigeon meat, it doesn't sound very appetizing. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't want it. All right, so let's talk about intelligence. So,
Mm.
although we domesticated these birds and then ditched them, we did check to see how smart they were, and they're super intelligent. Um, they are one of only a small number of species that can pass the mirror test, and that's a test of self recognition. They can also
Yeah.
recognize each letter of the human alphabet and differentiate between photographs and even distinguish different humans within one photograph.
Wow. Wait, so does that mean they could like technically be thought to read?
Dr. Reed?
Thought like they could learn to read? They
I
can
was like,
recognize the
who is
letters.
Dr. Reed?
Thought.
Taught to
Thought.
read. I think I think yes, but like I think they can't talk. They're not parrots. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So like what's the point of reading if you can't talk?
Exactly, right?
Sure.
They you don't want them rating the messages they're taking around.
Right, those messages are not for you. You're just a carrier.
Exactly. You're just a messenger pigeon.
Right.
So a paper published in 1995 in the Journal of Experimental Analysts of Behavior, they described how they trained 8 pigeons to tell the difference between paintings of Monet and Picasso. Can you tell the difference between those two artists?
Wild.
I think that's insane.
Yes, I can, but I've been to art school, so
Okay.
but I mean, it's not like they're very different style artists. So
Yeah,
I
so
feel
for
like
those of us
you
that
would be
aren't,
able to tell the difference as well if I just like showed you like this is a few Picassos, this is a few Monet. But still,
yeah,
it's impressive for pigeons
for a fucking bird. You know what I mean?
and for
Um,
humans.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's really cool. So in the
Yeah.
first round of experiments,
Also, then I was like, am I going to come across as an art snob?
totally. It took him
Yeah.
16 episodes to mention that he went to art school, guys.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who won the
uh,
bet?
I have to pay Justin $5. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
All right. So in the first round of experiments, the scientists trained the pigeons by showing them photos and videos of Monet and Picasso's paintings. One group received food when they pecked on the switch when showed Picasso's paintings, and then the other group when shown paintings of Monet. They had over 90% accuracy. And
That's wild.
even and even when they showed their paintings in black and white, so they could actually recognize a painting itself, not just by the color.
That's cool.
Crazy. And then
Yeah.
they did a second experiment, new birds, once again divided in groups of 2, and now they were shown paintings of Picasso and Monet, but were were rewarded only when they reacted to a painting of the correct artist rather than simply reacting to a painting as before. In that case, the results were just as surprising. Pigeons recognized the correct painter in over 90% of the cases.
Wow. Wow,
Pigeons
it's
are
cool. The Greece
freaking.
sure is looking less impressive now.
I know. What are you, a pigeon? Pigeons are art snobs, guys.
Yeah.
If you need the truth about your painting, show it to a pigeon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I found that very interesting.
It's really cool.
But you know what? We're talking about pigeons so highly. I'm gonna bring it back to what they are. We're gonna talk about pigeon poop.
Oh.
So now, if you Google pigeon poop, which I only did because of research purposes, you will find hundreds of links about how bad, annoying, gross, and toxic pigeon poops are.
Hmm.
Have you? This is weird. Have you ever had to deal with pigeon poop? But I guess I should ask: did you ever have like a pigeon problem or anything ever before? Because I feel like a
I
lot of
mean,
people do.
I think I don't think I was thinking about that earlier when you were talking about how like everyone hates them and stuff like that. I was like, are pigeons a pest? Like, are they problematic in like I don't feel like they try to intrude into like your home. I don't feel like they try to steal your food as aggressively as like seagulls, for example.
Hmm.
Um but no, and even like I think when I get pooped on by a bird, it's usually like a seagull.
Yeah. I think pigeons. I mean, I don't know if they're like there's a certain bird more likely to poop on humans, but I do think pigeon droppings are a huge problem for people that live in big populated areas because they do fly in flocks. When they
Mm,
do drop their droppings, it is a lot of it. In
mm.
the internet there was a huge like like people be like, how do I get pigeon poop off my balcony and stuff like that. I think like any
Oh yeah,
bird poop, it's
balconies.
it's hard to kind of get it off. Um, they are a bit of a pest. So I remember when I was younger and I visited my dad's family in India once. Um, they had like we had to like do those old school bucket showers,
Oh
right?
yeah,
That's not that annoying. You can live with that. But their washroom had like those ACs that like hang half outside, half inside. They had
yeah.
those ACs and there was a little pigeon's nest right there. And the annoying part was that when you're taking a bath, all you hear is their little coo, coo.
Which is such a cute sound.
I know, but when you're a kid scared taking a bucket shower that you're not used to, it wasn't cute.
Look
Um,
away! Look away!
I know. And then it's like they wouldn't do anything, but sometimes they would just flutter their wings, and that scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, I just, and I don't like, I think that's why they're a pest, like, because they do nest on in houses and skyscrapers and stuff like that.
yeah. And a lot of like buildings on the balconies, they'll have like pigeon spikes or stuff like that, so they don't come down. But
Yeah.
I think it's mostly because they're dirty, right? Like
And
if they
because they
create
fly
poop and
so
stuff like that.
high. Yeah, exactly. So clearly it's a huge problem for humans. But back when pigeons were domesticated, pigeon poop was actually used as fertilizer for farming. Um,
Wow.
that is like healthy pigeons, right? You don't use wild pigeon poop for that kind of stuff. They do carry a lot of diseases.
Mm,
Um, and like all droppings, you should compost their droppings before using them in fertilizer. But
mm,
they are very high in nitrogen, which makes for great manure. Um, and obviously, birds carry diseases. Times of India reported that pigeon droppings can carry over 60 illnesses like any other
oh
bird.
wow.
Yeah, exactly. Now, unfortunately, because pigeon farming isn't as common, squab isn't as common, it's more chicken. Chicken droppings is used in fertilizer often now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess they're easier to farm also, right? They don't fly away.
I guess. Yeah, maybe
Like
that's
they
why.
I mean, I'm trying to picture farming pigeons and like it must. like naturally they want to fly high, they want like they travel big distance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I don't think chickens care so much about having a
I think they
big.
care. They just can't
Yeah.
do much. They can't fly away.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't care so much about
And
being known.
they can't read or write, so they can't write a complaint letter.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good one. I didn't look at the research of why we eat chicken more than pigeon now, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you know what? Stay tuned for my chicken episode, guys. All right. So throughout their domestication, pigeons have been both allowed to breed freely and have been bred with hand-picked mates with the most desirable traits.
Mm.
During the selective breeding process, pigeon fanciers noticed how manipulable, wow, that weird word came out weird.
Manipulate.
Many,
Oh, yeah, it's hard. Manipulatable. Manipulatable.
yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Many of the physical traits are in these birds. During the Victorian era, fancy pigeons became the fascination of choice for many upper and middle class hobbyists. And formal bird shows have been held nearly as long as formal dog shows. By the early 1900s, yeah, pigeons were popular pets, even among the working class. And they got into more than just being feral squabs that lived in their rooftop and windowsills. In London, you could buy a pair of distinctive looking porter pigeons for 10 pence, far cheaper than any other fancy breed of pets. Pigeons were a little luxury that almost anyone could enjoy.
Aww. And then you can put
Yeah.
a little bow and something, and
Yeah, you can make a pigeon classy.
yeah.
So a little pop quiz here for you. Since you
Okay.
do so well in these, I always feel like I'm going to stump you, and I don't. But I think I will in this one. Let's see.
All right. Try
All
me.
right. So, how much was the most expensive pigeon ever sold for? A. 600,000, B. 1.9 million, or C. 200 million?
Can you tell me the date it was sold? Like around what year?
Yes, in 2020.
In 2020? I'm gonna go with 600,000.
No.
2 million?
No.
Or whatever B was? 200 million?
1.9 million.
Oh. Oh, and 1.9 million is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
why did you?
Not 200 million. So you said
Okay.
2 million, I got stumped.
Yeah. It's okay. Wow, still though.
Yeah. So fancy pigeon breeding is still a big competition, but not widely known outside of the competitive breeders. In 2020, New Kim, a 2-year-old female pigeon who sold for a record 1.6 million euros, that is $1.9 million, after bidding war between two Chinese buyers at a Belgian auction. She has performed as the best bird in Belgium in 2018 and was among one of the last birds to be raised by Gaston van de Wouwer, a famous breeder who has since retired. This sport, which dates back to the 1800s, homing pigeons are acclimated in a shared loft before being taken hundreds. Wait. Acclimated, that's a word, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they're made to be to get used to the space.
Yeah. So this started in the 1800s. They take a bunch of pigeons, get them used to a shared loft before being taken hundreds of miles away and released. The winner is the first one to return. So that's
Wow.
yeah.
That's a crazy sport.
That's a crazy sport, but a boring sport. I feel like I wouldn't watch it. Like,
Yeah.
and I also don't know how they tracked this in the 1800s. Like now, I guess it's like probably chipped, and then you just watch the chip travel. So this has become increasingly competitive and a glamorous sport in China. In 2018, two men were convicted by Shanghai court for trying to fix a high stakes race by putting their pigeons on a bullet train. I found that
Too
hilarious.
funny. That is really funny.
Um, and then Belgium has become a huge hub of pigeon breeding and racing. And they even
Why does
had
that make
a
sense to me? Like, I don't know why, but like that sounds
Belgians
like a
would do
very
crazy things.
like somehow like, oh sure, pigeons are fancy in Belgium. Like that makes sense to me.
Okay, but they did have a doping scandal back in 2013.
No,
Yes,
they drug the pigeons.
they did. So, according to multiple news reports, five pigeons tested positive for human painkiller that combats inflammation, and one pigeon tested positive for cocaine.
What? Oh my god, humans are the most ridiculous thing on earth.
We are the worst. Like, as funny as this is, I'm like, this is straight up animal cruelty,
Abuse. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
This,
yeah.
um,
That's why.
I like painkillers, and then one just did some coke.
Yeah.
I would
I
love to
wonder
see
which
the
was more
stats.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, too funny.
All right. So, as if that wasn't controversial enough, I have another pigeon controversy for you.
Okay.
A pigeon was imprisoned for 8 months in Mumbai, uh, India, because it was suspected of espionage when it was found near a port. Um, it was found with two rings tied to its legs, featuring words that appeared to be Chinese. After 8 months in captivity and attempted interrogation, it emerged that the creature was an open water racing bird from Taiwan, which had escaped and flown to India.
Oh my god.
Poor little pigeon was just trying, like, he didn't want to compete in open water racing anymore. He was just trying to escape. He didn't know how to tell his parents no, and he like was like, I'm gonna go free myself in India, live my eat, pray, love journey, and only to be mistaken for a Chinese spy by the Indians.
Like, guys, like, what the hell? Like, just scan the pigeon, see there's no tech on it, and set it free.
Leave pigeons alone.
That is so ridiculous. Oh my god. Okay, well, that could be the plot of a good pigeon movie.
Yes. Um,
Like, animated, like, Ratatouille style pigeon movie,
yeah, I like it.
right?
Little Taiwanese pigeon
Yeah.
mistaken to be a Chinese spy, and he was an open water racer. I
Oh
love
my
it.
god. There's some money there.
Speaks to me.
Big Pigeon, give us a call. No, not a call, an email.
Just comment on our Instagram post. We're begging.
There you go.
Um, all right. So you thought that was the last of the controversies? We have another one.
Oh my god.
Have you heard of pigeons aren't real?
Okay, this I've heard of a little bit, but I've never really looked into it.
Okay, so very similar to the whole Gen Z conspiracy about birds aren't real.
Yeah.
That conspiracy started kind of when like Trump was elected, where this guy Peter McIndoe, he just decided to hold up a sign saying birds aren't real. And then he just made up how this is a movement that's been going on for 50 years and that how all birds were killed off and turned into drones. Um, and it just kind of took off. Very similar, pigeons aren't real conspiracy. So they say that biotechnology surveillance pigeons are biotechnology surveillance drones harnessing the power of the pigeon, designed by the government to look, walk, and squawk just like a pigeon.
Leave pigeons alone.
Right? I have a little bit of the website's bio here. So, a staple of Great Britain, pigeons. Any town, village, or city in this country, you will find them huddled, gray masses, swarming food waste, deviling into pungent bins, navigating the fag butts to find a morsel of favorite chicken,
Excuse me, whose
scratching
butts?
fag butts like cigarettes.
Yes.
Okay, were you offended? I felt it. I was like, wait, no, I hope he gets it. Cigarettes. Scratching the last strip of melted chocolate from a Lion bar wrapped on a summer's day, or so it seems. They're as ubiquitous as to Britain as rain, Witherspoons, and CCTV. But harmless? Think again. The story of pigeons, state surveillance, and the oppression of British people is long and intertwined tale. Buckle up.
Oh my god, I am not buckled. This is insane.
You know what? And the work that they put in, they have a whole graph of how the camera is fitted inside the pigeon itself, how there's a camera in the pigeon's eye, there's microphones, speakers, batteries, an antenna, and then like the feet are like the charging coils. Very insane.
Great
Their
design.
Instagram has over 6K followers. And then they talk about how like no one in Britain born anytime since 1990 would have actually ever seen a baby pigeon, yet they still believe that these creatures are born naturally, which I found friggin' hilarious. I did Google a
That's
rational explanation to why we don't see baby pigeons because I was like, wait, I don't see baby pigeons.
I don't
Um,
think I see baby birds in general.
yeah, and that's because most birds, including baby pigeons, they stay in their nest till they're adult size.
Yeah.
So usually when you do see baby birds, it's like maybe they've fallen out of their nest and they're like
Yeah.
injured or harmed or something.
Right.
All right, so now we're going to do a little honorable mention of some famous fanciers. Um, would you know any? Do you know any famous people that are into pigeons?
No. Wait.
See, you always surprise
Mm,
me with your knowledge.
no, I don't think I do, but for some reason, I see Ricky Gervais being into pigeons.
Okay. Not what I
Not on your list?
researched, but maybe, who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
All right. So, one of the animals Charles Darwin studied in depth was the domestic rock pigeon. Pigeon breeding was an ancient pastime, even in the 1850s. And through its long history of fanciers, um, had published books filled with practical advice and observation. Darwin decided to keep and breed pigeons himself. He joined 2 London pigeon clubs and attended pigeon competitions where he connected with fanciers from all over the world. And he also had a collection of preserved pigeons, eventually of 120 skeletons and skins. Disgusting. Um,
Yeah. Oh, and when you said preserve, I imagine it's like taxidermy. But when you
yeah.
said preserve, it sounded like in cans, like pigeon in cans.
I
Like
imagine like
preserve.
in books, like you know how you preserve like leaves.
Oh my
Like
god! Squat.
yeah, but you know, and I guess he gets a pass because he did study them too.
Maybe that's where the term squab comes from. The sound it makes when you close click on them.
That's horrible. Leave my pigeons alone. All right. Nikola Tesla was a suburban American engineer and a physicist known for his groundbreaking work in electrical power. He had a pigeon obsession more than a liking. He
Hmm.
spent a lot of time in New York and spent hours feeding them and often took home injured pigeons and nursed them back to health.
Hmm.
He once even asked the hotel chef to prepare a special mix of seeds for his feathered friends. People that knew him found his passion for pigeons puzzling because he was also
Wow.
a well-known germaphobe. Um, but you know what? I guess like healthy pigeons wouldn't be a sick
Oh
pigeon,
yeah, yeah.
right? Although Tesla never married, he admitted to falling in love with a very special white pigeon that visited him regularly. He
Hmm.
reportedly said, I love that pigeon as a man loves a woman, and she loved me. And as long as I had her, there was a purpose of life. Um, Very interesting. I think people that fall in love with animals are something else.
They are a
Um,
little bit, it's no, it's disturbing. I don't know why I'm tiptoeing around it. It's disturbing.
yeah.
I stand by that.
Yeah. He was a pigeon lover. All right. So the last little pigeon fancier that we're talking about is a boxer. I'm going to give you
Ooh.
three options and you tell me which one you think it is.
Okay, sounds good.
A. Muhammad Ali, B. Mike Tyson, or C. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Oh, I don't know why I'm thinking Mike Tyson because somehow some ad with like a pigeon mascot and him or something. I don't know.
You got
I don't know.
it
I have images.
right.
Is it him?
Yeah. I think
Yes.
you're also thinking Mike Tyson because he like really likes animals. Like I think he has like a pet tiger or
I
something
know
too.
nothing about Mike Tyson. I swear to God, what came to mind is an image of a pigeon mascot.
That's
Mascot.
that's so funny. Yeah, Mike Tyson loved pigeons since he was 9 years old. Uh,
Oh.
he said that they were his escape from when he got bullied. In an interview, he said the first time he threw a punch was when one of his bullies killed his pet pigeon with his bare hands.
Oh no.
Yeah. Um, and it was one of
That's
the
so sad.
reasons one of his relationships ended as well. Apparently his ex-girlfriend, this is what he said, and quote, she happened to grab one and she cooked one and then
Oh
proceeded
my
to
God.
eat it. I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't the right thing to do. And that's why she's not my woman anymore. I love the end of that's why she's not my woman anymore.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it we have lots
Hmm.
of famous people that are
I
huge
mean,
pigeon fans. What? Feel like you were going somewhere there.
ah?
Feels like you were going
Sorry,
somewhere
I lost
there.
you there. You. No, no. I just like. I mean, I would probably not want to date someone who has a pigeon obsession either.
But would you want to eat a pigeon? Like cook someone's pet pigeon?
Yeah. No,
No
not
way.
that. Not a pet pigeon. I would eat a pigeon, but not a pet pigeon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Cook your man's pet pigeon.
Right, right, right. No, that's too far.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, the neighbor's pet pigeon. No, I'm just kidding.
Says the one who's like, "Oh, this is where the name Squab came from." Squab.
Yeah. I think he. I'm just shocked that he had a pet pigeon to begin with in his adult life. But I
You know
guess
what?
people still do it. You said like I'm because I think I'm struggling with the term pet. Like, do they like just roam around the house and you pet them and watch TV with them?
I don't know. I'm thinking like how people have pet birds, like they have like pretty big like sized
Oh, like coops or
cages.
whatever.
Yeah, like a little coop at home. That's what
Okay.
I think. But like I guess like if you've domesticated your pigeon enough and it's like, a good intelligent pigeon, you could let it fly and it'd probably come back home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess. I
And
guess.
like I
Okay,
mean,
now I'm picturing it. Now I'm picturing it. It's true. Like people like on top of buildings will have like pigeon coops and whatever.
and if you're like Mike Tyson, you have a big house, you probably let your
True.
pigeons roam free or you have like a whole pigeon room.
Yeah. But like what I mean is that are they affectionate?
I wouldn't think so. I don't think birds are. I mean, yeah, why not? They sit on your shoulder, rub your
Yeah.
head. Yeah. I did a little pigeon movement there.
Yeah. What was that sound you did?
Cool. Oh, you do really well.
You're welcome.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Well, that was my little deep dive on pigeons for you guys.
That was very interesting. That was way more than I thought. Like I
I
didn't know you could find like I didn't know pigeons were that interesting.
It took a turn with like the imprisoned pigeon, the doped up pigeons.
Oh, do you think the imprisoned pigeon thing kind of came at the same time as like that guy was like pigeons are spies in the zeitgeist? Like it was like because they were like, oh well, they're talking about pigeons being like
Pigeons.
pigeons being spy like just cameras and stuff like that, like spies.
That's
Is
so
that
funny.
why they got
So,
so paranoid around it? Because for me, it's just like it blows my mind. Why would you like imprison a pigeon?
right? Let's see. So, pigeon in prison was, oh, it was just cleared in 2024, February 2nd. So, no, this is very recent.
What?
While the birds aren't real controversy started in 2018.
Okay, but so it's still people are still scared of birds being spies since before that incident happened.
Yeah.
So maybe you have someone in the police department who follows that Instagram account.
Yeah. I'm just like laughing. Like, did they do it as a joke? Or they straight up were like, those pigeons a spy?
That's a lot of resources of the government for a joke like that.
Right? And like, do you think they put it in like an actual prison cell, or they had like a little coop for him?
I'm thinking there was an actual prison cell occupied by a little coop for the pigeon. I'm thinking integration room with the spotlight in their face.
Yeah. That is so funny. Oh my god. Poor pigeon.
Poor pigeon.
Um
Ugh.
But yeah, and then the cocaine one was crazy to me. I would just like to end this episode by saying leave pigeons among my friends. They're very smart and they're art
Yeah.
snobs, just like Doma.
Yeah. And in a few years, when our movie comes out, you're going to feel real silly for hating on pigeons because they're going to be everyone's favorite animal.
Yeah, and then you'll have to pay $1.9 million to get a pet pigeon.
Correct.
Named New Kim. Wonder what happened to old Kim.
Right? Too much cocaine. All right. Well done, Saniya.
Thank you. Well, thank you for listening. And see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Tell Me Like I'm Stupid is created and produced by us, Saniya and Thomas. You can follow us on Instagram at Tell Me Like I'm Stupid.
If you'd like to support us, please subscribe and review on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Our cover art was created by Ish. Find him on Instagram at h.e.e.s.h.
Thank you for listening.